The ego. What is the ego? What is my ego? Is something that activates when I'm boasting, or if someone affects me in a certain way, my ego gets activated. I become that. I am no longer who I am in a relaxed state. I have emotion. Say my ego, like it's not who you are, it's separate from you. But what makes you who you are? Is it that the belief, what makes you you is your belief system and what you believe to be right or wrong? Is it characteristics like I am a good musician, I can sing, I'm good at sports, I'm bad at writing, I am shy, I am confident, I am good with people, I am outgoing? Are these characteristics that make you you? Or me? Does that make that me? And these are beliefs about yourself. And then also we try to make beliefs we try to strive towards something to be us. Like we want to be more outgoing, and we have a belief that we're not outgoing, so we just try to be more outgoing, and then we try to create that and make that us. And in that moment, you just did something that you don't even think you are the type of person. You acted out of character, you would say. So there's a character that you act as. Is that you? Is that who you say you are? So we try to change this about our personality, or that, or whatever it is, and then we keep trying to act that way, and then someone triggers us and makes us feel inadequate, and then we revert back to a belief that we're trying to change in the first place. And is that who you are? Is that who I am? It's very confusing. It's so confusing that people don't look at it at all. And people chase materialistic things to avoid it at all costs. Avoid our pain. It's pain. Pain we're trying to run from, and we're trying to fix or throw stuff on top of until we don't have to throw stuff on top of it no more. Is always just going to be a table. It's not going to think itself into something else. It doesn't have ideas of maybe becoming a big dinner table one day. It's just always going to be a TV table. I'm a tree. And now it is a table. And if you break it apart, it still used to be a tree. It still was made from a tree. But it's not going to wish itself into being a big dinner table for a big challenging family. To put your mind around this. That can you change what you've already changed? to begin with, what you've already created to begin with. Is it really there? Because that table, you can see that table, you can touch that table, and it's not going to change if it thinks it wants to be a chair. It's going to be a table still. So, I'm a human, and there's something, I'm in existence. So I can try to create all these different things about who that I am that I want, but I'm still going to be just life manifested. I'm still going to be something trying to create something else. And then doing it again and again and again. Never actually being satisfied with what I am, or satisfies. Never changes. We try to change stuff that doesn't exist. It's non-existent. How could we change something that doesn't exist in the first place? How could something that already exists change? It is. It just is. And I am. That's it. There's something before the mind in the ego. There's something that is already there, that is without any thoughts with it. There is the prior self before the mind, which creates all this chaos to fix you or fix everything around you and make your life how you need it to be, or how it should be, or who other people should be. If that doesn't exist, does there need to be freedom at all? There just is freedom before the mind. It takes a lot of work to disidentify, because in many moments you are the ego, you are the mind, you are being and reacting according to memories, how you perceived something that happened to you or someone else, and then you're bouncing it back to the present or to the future and going off that. What your perception of the past is only yours. Like, someone could have been at that same spot and had a different mindset and seen it totally different, but you took your view of it as truth and then applied it and set it deep down as a belief for your future moments. It's just the mind trying to be God. But it's a tool. But now society is the brain. It is the thoughts. It is the ego. And you can't identify as the ego or the mind and get to being non-mind or non-ego. You are always going to identify still as the mind or ego. There is no way around it. So listening to spiritual teachers or Buddhists, Hinduism, they teach you non-duality. This is non-duality. There is a prior self, and seeing the conceptual self for what it is not, for the ego, the thoughts, to see it before as objects. Again, they are things you can see. How could the things you see within your own mind be you? A cat walks around and does things. It does not think about itself. It just is itself. It does what it needs to do. The isness of it. And it's a lot to do with society and materialism and buy, and consumerism. You go on and on, really. But, yeah, question who you are. Question do you identify yourself as the ego or the mind? Do you react according to those things? But could you see yourself? Can you see yourself? If you look in a mirror or a camera, you're going to see yourself, because that's what it's for. But can you actually see yourself inside of yourself? And if you can, how could that possibly be yourself? You can't possibly see it. This is my first video, so I don't have any editing skills or anything. I just practice a lot of this every day and listen to a lot of it. But yeah, hopefully it can help somebody, because I haven't been free for a long time. I've been in my own prison of my own mind for a long time, as I'm pretty sure a lot of people are. So there is a way out. And then once you realize this, your mind comes back. Your mind tries to claim everything that is happening, everything that is you're thinking, as truth, as you. And then you realize again that you are not that. And so it's a process. And it doesn't need to be a process, but we've been conditioning as the mind and ego and thoughts for so long that it takes, we are consumed by time. So there's not really even chipping away at it or time to be involved. You are being. You just are. But your mind constantly comes back. And it comes back, especially in society, when you always have to look at time and be on time for somewhere, or wake up at a certain time, have your alarm clock set. Like, your mind is time is the gas of your mind. So you don't just get it overnight. I mean, I've spent years chipping away at my ego and my thoughts and correcting them and tweaking them, only to come to the end of it and making progress, but still being tormented regularly in daily living, and letting things fester and stay there forever, and then bounce and coming back to the same situation over again, then relating that past bad experience back to it. And I still, after practicing for years of this stuff, still tormented by, because I've always been identified as my mind and my ego, trying to not be my mind and ego, only to find out that I've been trying to chip away at something that's not really there. It's never existed in the first place. And to try to chip away at something that doesn't exist is telling you that it does exist. Trying not to be something that you identify as reaffirms that it is there, and that you are it. And after all this time, all this work that I think I made to get where I'm at right now didn't even need to be done. I just had to realize that I just am. And you don't become perfect. You still have situations where you don't know what to do, and you're not wondering what you should do, or you're questioning it for a second, but it doesn't sit with you forever, or like you don't dwell on it, or you just keep going, flowing through life, and your mind will come back and claim it and say, "Oh, I can't believe they just talked to me that way," and then you realize that you are not this. So why does it matter? Because you're just playing into something that's never there at all. So I don't know. Hopefully, some people got something out of it. See ya.